Hello, how are you? Unit 6, Eating Well. Okay, we had in the last book, we had a unit that was about food. Okay, food and recipes. In this case, we are talking about eating well. Okay, basically, we're going to focus on how to say what I like and what I don't like regarding food. Okay, and how to agree. So we have the healthy eating pyramid, and we have in here some types of food, okay? And the frequency and maybe quantity we should eat them, okay? Um, we can talk about what we eat and how often we eat that, okay? So it's not so much talking about what is, in this case, what is better or worse, but what we eat. Okay? What is our diet? We want to share that. Okay? Like as if you are talking, on the street, like with a neighbor, and what did you have yesterday for breakfast? Oh, I had this and you had that. Oh, that's great. Something like that. We have a glossary in here with four components or yeah, components of food. So let's listen to that and let's try to define them in class.
Page 62. Glossary. Listen and repeat.
calcium,
carbohydrates,
protein,
vitamins,
Okay, so well, this word vitamins, some people say vitamins. Okay, so that is the pronunciation is could be different from mouth to mouth. So let's listen to a conversation of people talking about their food choices and their food habits. Okay, let's listen.
Page 63. Exercise D. Photo story. Read and listen to people talking about food choices.
Didn't you tell me you were avoiding sweets?
I couldn't resist. I had a craving for chocolate.
Well, I have to admit it looks pretty good. How many calories are in that thing anyway?
I have no idea. Want to try some?
Thanks, but I think I'd better pass. I'm avoiding carbs.
You? I don't believe it. You never used to turn down chocolate.
I know, but I'm watching my weight now.
Come on, it's really good.
Okay, maybe just a bite.
Hey, you only live once.
So, in here we have, at least I see two very, very, very important um, phrases. Okay, so I'm avoiding carbs. Carbs is an informal for carbohydrates. Okay, and we have you only live once. Hey, you only live once. The first letter of each word of this phrase is YOLO, and that is a word in English, okay? Actually, I guess you can find it at the dictionary. YOLO. The pronunciation is YOLO, and it means you only live once, okay? In here, we have some definitions for some expressions we have in here. It's been time that we don't have these types of exercise. And then, well, we can discuss that in class, okay? So, in regards to lesson one, we have talked about food passions, okay? And we have some phrases to express the taste we have for food. So let's listen.
Page 64. Vocabulary. Food passions. Exercise A. Read and listen.
I'm crazy about seafood. I'm a big meat eater. I'm a big coffee drinker. I'm a chocolate addict. I'm a pizza lover.
I can't stand fish. I'm not crazy about chocolate. I don't care for steak. I'm not much of a pizza eater. I'm not much of a coffee drinker.
So, the man said expressions that indicate that you like the food, and the woman said expressions that indicate that she doesn't like the food. Okay, so they are pretty common, all of them. Okay, and it's not like, like you're being rude for saying that. It's pretty common. Everyone says it. Okay, so used to and used to. Okay, in the past and in the present. You use it in the past when you say it in in affirmative. For example, I used to be crazy. I used to be crazy about Kenny. Okay, she didn't used to eat cheese. She didn't used to eat cheese. Okay, and we also have um, be used to or get used to. Okay, I'm used to walking to work, for example. I could get used to riding a bike to work, for example. Okay, I hope that's clear. If it's not, we could practice it in the class. Okay, it's a little bit grammar, but maybe you could you might like this. Okay, and as for the would, okay, um, repeated actions in the past. Okay, would and the base form. Maybe, for example, I would go to my house every day. For example, I would go to my house every day. So we can check that in class. Actually, I'm gonna check it right now. So, sharp. Repeated actions in the past using would and the base form. You can also use would plus the base form of the verb to describe repeated actions in the past. For example, in this use, would has the same meaning as used to. Okay, so you have another synonym of used to for the past. For example, when we were young, our parents would go camping with us. They used to go camping with us. Okay, and we have some mistakes in here. Use used to and not would to describe possession, likes and dislikes, situations, or locations in the past. So in this case, I guess that it has the same meaning as the continuous conjugation. For example, you cannot conjugate some verbs in continuous tenses. So I guess it has to do with the state verbs and action verbs. For example, I used to have a lot of clothes, not I would have a lot of clothes. It could lead to ambiguity. My hometown used to be Dakar. My hometown would be Dakar is incorrect. Okay, it could lead to ambiguities. Or I used to be a terrible English student, not I would be a terrible English student. Do you find the difference between this type of would and the would of the last example? When we were young, our parents would go camping with us. In this case, our parents would go camping with us. They used to go camping with us. Okay? So I did this because this is pretty tricky. It's the first time that I notice this on the book. So let's continue. So let's listen to a conversation model of people talking about what they used to like and they don't now. So we are integrate two tenses in here. So let's listen.
Page 65. Conversation Model. Exercise A. Read and listen to two people talk about their food passions.
Are you a big coffee drinker?
Definitely. I'm crazy about coffee. What about you?
I used to have it a lot, but I've been cutting back.
Well, I couldn't live without it.
Well, the verb cutting, cut, cut back, cut off, cut down, it has, a lot of meanings in in the food vocabulary. So here, in regards to lesson 2, we have make an excuse to decline food. Okay? As you say, to politely decline food, you have to have an excuse, okay, or a reason. So let's listen to the conversation model.
Page 66. Conversation model. Exercise A. Read and listen to a dinner guest making an excuse to decline food.
Please help yourself.
Everything looks great, but I'll pass on the chicken.
Don't you eat chicken?
Actually, no. I'm a vegetarian.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
It's not a problem. I'll have something else.
So you see that in English, for example, if someone says, I'm a vegetarian, according to the book, people will answer, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that, okay? Like, I respect your way of thinking, for example, okay? Not like, oh, are you a vegetarian, really? That would maybe rude. So it's not a problem. Don't worry. I'm fine. Okay? Um, Excuses for not eating something. Let's listen to these excuses because they are, kind of important for being polite abroad, especially when you're talking to English speakers, maybe to other cultures too. We can discuss that in class actually. So let's listen.
Page 66. Vocabulary. Excuses for not eating something. Exercise A. Read and listen.
Coffee doesn't agree with me.
I'm on a diet. I'm trying to lose weight.
I don't eat beef. It's against my religion.
I'm allergic to chocolate.
I'm avoiding sugar.
I don't care for broccoli.
So these expressions are, kind of common, but you use them when you use them, you use them when you hear them a lot. Here we have some yes no questions, okay, to confirm, okay? Negative yes no questions. For example, isn't Jane a vegetarian? Didn't he go on a diet last week? It's to confirm. Or when you want someone to agree with you, for example, don't you love Italian food? You're expecting for the other person to answer yes. Or wasn't that a terrible dinner? Actually, no, I thought it was good. You're waiting for the other person to agree with you, but maybe they won't agree all the time. To express surprise. Aren't you going to have a cake? Or really? Hasn't he tried the chicken? Come on, don't tell me. So now we have in here, as for lesson 3, discuss lifestyle changes. Do you think people's eating habits are better or worse than they used to be in the past? I mean, like maybe 60 or 70 years ago? What is your opinion about that? We could discuss a little bit about that. I mean, we could talk about what our parents or even grandparents used to eat and what we are eating today in 2000s. So let's listen to this reading to have the opinion of the book and get to set our positions about this. So let's listen.
Page 68. Reading. Read and listen.
How can it be? Americans gain weight while the French stay thin. Have you ever wondered why Americans struggle with watching their weight, while the French, who consume all that rich food, the bread, the cheese, the wine, and the heavy sauces, continue to stay thin? Now a report from Cornell University suggests a possible answer. A study of almost 300 participants from France and the U.S. provides clues about how lifestyle and decisions about eating may affect weight. Researchers concluded that the French tend to stop eating when they feel full. However, Americans tend to stop when their plate is completely empty or they have reached the end of their favorite TV show. As a matter of fact, Americans are taught from an early age to clean their plates because children in poorer countries are going hungry. According to Dr. Joseph Mercola, who writes extensively about health issues, the French see eating as an important part of their lifestyle. They enjoy food and therefore spend a fairly long time at the table. In contrast, Americans see eating as something to do quickly, as they squeeze meals between the other activities of the day. Mercola believes Americans have lost the ability to sense when they are actually full, so they keep eating long after the French would have stopped. In addition, he points out that Americans drive their cars to huge supermarkets to buy canned and frozen foods for the week, while the French tend to shop daily, walking to small shops and farmers' markets where they have a choice of fresh fruits, vegetables, and eggs, as well as high-quality meats and cheeses for each meal. Mireille Giuliano, author of French Women Don't Get Fat, decided to write about the subject after discovering she had gained weight after a visit to the U.S. Rather than suggesting how to avoid food, she writes about the importance of restraint, knowing when to stop. Today, she continues to stay slim, and she rarely goes to the gym. Despite all these differences, new reports show that recent lifestyle changes may be affecting French eating habits. Today, the rate of obesity, or extreme overweight, among adults is only 6%. However, as American fast food restaurants gain acceptance and the young turn their backs on older traditions, the obesity rate among French children has reached 17% and is growing.
So, after listening to this, which could be, kind of a comment about Spain, maybe, because they are talking about French people, but I would expand it to European people. So maybe American people will eat in a different way than Spanish people, and we could talk about that and discuss about that because, we could have that debate on culture about eating. And we have actually discussed lifestyle changes, complete the self-assessment, okay? It is a survey or an assessment, as they say, and we have in here some questions, okay? And then we have discussion. How do you think your classmates compare to most people in your country? For example, do you think that this person is different from the standard of the country, or you think that they are aligned, okay? And we can discuss about these topics in class. So, as for lesson 4, we have describe local dishes. When we are asked to describe local dishes differently from the unit of food of the last book that we were supposed to give the ingredients and amounts and recipes, in here we're just asked to describe how it tastes, okay? What is the feeling that we have it in our mouth? So let's listen to some vocabulary and I'm going to explain you how we're going to do it in class.
Page 70. Before you listen. Exercise A. Vocabulary. Food descriptions. Read and listen.
It looks terrific.
It smells terrible.
It tastes sweet. It tastes spicy. It tastes salty. It tastes sour. It smells like chicken.
It tastes like chicken.
It looks like chicken.
It's soft. It's hard.
It's chewy. It's crunchy.
Okay, so these are adjectives or phrases to describe food, okay? And what is the topic for the conversation? We are going to um, describe dishes that we have tried actually in the past, maybe from Spain or from another country, and we're going to recommend it to the rest of the class, okay? So for example, if I have tried rice with chicken. I recommend it to you, and I tell you where actually you can get that dish, where you can buy it, what restaurant has it in their menu. Okay, so I guess that would be a very, very good conversation, considering that we will recommend food as if we were, like talking on the street, like to a neighbor or to a friend. So, as for the review, we have in here some review on the grammar and the vocabulary and listening and everything. We could do it if you please, because this is special. I mean, this topic of food is really special. And we have in here a menu from a restaurant, and we could, like take a look at it and have some more ideas on food. I mean, food is kind of important uh, for, I don't know, for English. So let's go with the videos. The sitcom. Help yourself, everyone.
I think everything's ready. Why don't we sit down?
This smells so wonderful. What are we having to eat?
There's roast chicken, baked potatoes, salad, broccoli with garlic, red cabbage, and rice. Help yourself, everyone.
Wow, that's a lot of vegetables.
Vegetables are very healthy for you. Mr. Evans, would you like some chicken?
Just a little, thank you. I'm not a big chicken eater.
How about some potatoes?
I'm sorry. I'm avoiding potatoes.
Some broccoli?
I'll pass. I'm afraid it doesn't agree with me.
Cabbage?
Sorry. I'm allergic.
Mr. Evans, I'm so sorry. There's very little here for you to eat.
I'm crazy about rice.
Well, then, pass the rice, please.
Cheryl, this tastes so delicious. Bob, you're not eating very much tonight. Don't you like the food?
Bob's on a diet.
I'm trying to lose weight.
Good for you, Bob.
I'm on a diet too.
Why are you on a diet? You're so skinny.
I'm trying to gain weight.
I can't stand it.
Cheryl, that was fantastic.
The rice was terrific.
Cookies, anyone?
Yes. One, please.
I'll take 2, thanks. Or 3.
Do you eat sweets, Mr. Evans?
I used to, but I can't anymore.
No dessert for you, Bob?
Not on his diet.
But weren't you eating cookies today at work?
I was eating carrots.
Didn't I see you snacking on candy this afternoon?
That was an apple.
What about that ice cream you ate yesterday?
Fruit salad.
My mistake.
These cookies are terrific.
If you like the cookies, you'll love this cake.
Oh.
Would you eat some strawberries, Mr. Evans?
Strawberries are my passion.
Really?
I'd eat strawberries on anything. Cereal, pasta, even rice.
I'm crazy about chocolate cake. I can gain weight with every bite.
I think I'll have a cookie. Bob, could you pass the... Oh. Where'd they go?
I have 1.
I have 4.
I have none.
Hey, you only live once.
I used to eat a lot of fatty foods, but now I just avoid them. I used to like chocolate and lots of sweets, but now those days are gone. To tell you the truth, it was too much trouble. They say you only live once, but I'm not crazy about feeling sick. What was going wrong? Now I know I couldn't live without this. Everything's ready, why don't you sit down? It looks terrific, but it smells pretty awful. What in the world can it be? It smells like chicken and it tastes like fish. A terrific dish for you and me. A perfect dish for you and me. I used to be a big meat eater, now I'm a vegetarian. And I'm not much of a coffee drinker, I can't stand it anymore. I'm avoiding desserts with sugar, I'm trying to lose some weight. Some things just don't agree with me, they're bad for me, I'm sure. Would you like some? Help yourself. Isn't it so good for your health? It looks terrific, but it smells pretty awful. What in the world can it be? It smells like chicken and it tastes like fish. A terrific dish for you and me. A perfect dish for you and me. Aren't you going to have some? Don't you like it? Wasn't it delicious? Don't you want some more? It looks terrific, but it smells pretty awful. What in the world can it be? It smells like chicken and it tastes like fish. A terrific dish for you and me. A perfect dish for you